We have sought vengeance on every scale. We've broken space and time and goofed off on the other side. We have transcended the stars and punched the face of gods. And you know what? I'm starting to get bored. Millions of games, but nothing to play. I'm sure you've felt it too. Don't expect to relate to me ever again. It's time we tear the fucking hinges off. That's right. I'm weird now. Never before have I been weird. Shut up. Did you know that touching the orb is as bad for you as smoking 9 packs of cigarettes? Stinky arc. I have not showered in over a month. You want to try and make me? That'll be interesting. I have never cared about anything the way I don't care now. I will bite you, actually. This is where revolution starts and resolution ends. You might remember when there were 2 of me, but I don't even know which one I am.
Yeah, I liked Pregame Discharge, but it just got
rid of all the cowards. That's how you'll sound if you back out now. We're headed for a cliff and I'm not slowing down. The fall is the fun part. You just have to be harder than the ground by the time you hit it. Why don't you see if I am? I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the first, only, and last video game show. Did you hear that the Xbox has gone woke? Uh-oh, sound the woke alarm!
Trans rights. Trans rights.
That's right, the Woke Box Series pronoun updated to change its default power down settings to off instead of sleep to save electricity! This is how the leftists turn your kids into drag queen attack helicopter! Oh yeah, sure, you can change it back, but can we change America back to when there was only one gender? The human gender. According to my car friend, Forza is kinda to racing sims what Avenged Sevenfold is to metal. Like, apparently the racing sim purists cross their arms and go, this isn't real, fake car. Regardless, they did a Forza presentation saying a lot of buzzwords about how real the fake car would be, and apparently they built this from the ground up for modern tech. As a tech demo, I don't think this is real fake car either. I think this is just real. It's live action footage. These cars are clearly just guys in suits. Minecraft Legends was at the presentation too. This was like a Freedom Box thing. Yeah, I'm calling it that now. It showed off its PvP mode. It's like a 4v4 team-based RTS tower defense thing. Almost like a Clash of Clans type deal, but you're both going at each other's bases at the same time and you're like one of the little dudes in there with all the little dudes. Look, there's probably a game out there that's super similar to this called Dynasty Empires Crusade Tactics or some shit. If anyone knew what it was, this wouldn't have to be a Minecraft game. Bethesda just hot dropped a fucking banger called Hi-Fi Rush completely out of nowhere. It's on Game Pass right now, so if you got it, you might as well try it out. It's a beat-em-up platformer rhythm game where you fight with an electric guitar. As sick as that sounds, it does have a little bit of a Kids WB ass vibe. But you know what? That's fine. Having gateways like this for kids to get into rock is good. I'd still prefer that we Spartan society throw them into mosh pits and see which ones live, but this is also fun. Just from what we've seen of Redfall so far, I assumed it was gonna be like a Left 4 Dead type thing, but it's actually an open world looter shooter, so either that was revealed or I wasn't fucking paying attention. Either is likely. Arcane Studios showed off a pretty good portion of the game and talked about the gameplay loop, some enemies, some gameplay mechanics, the character classes, and I wouldn't say it totally won me over, but I didn't pound my desk and point at the video and scream, "Off! Off!" Since The Last of Us show is a thing now, the Naughty Dog himself, Neil Druckmann, has been running around doing a lot of interviews, just popping off. So what do we know? Well, apparently, Season 2 of the show has been greenlit and will draw from The Last of Us 2 for the story, which confirms that Season 1 will make it all the way through the first game. Thank fuck. He also said Naughty Dog is done with Uncharted, which makes sense. The last scene of Uncharted 4 might as well have been an 87-year-old Nathan Drake dying in a hospital bed saying, "Ah, crap, I'm done adventuring forever." But Sony still owns it, and video games have to never end ever now. That's the rule, so more of them can and probably will be made. There was a recent PlayStation commercial where there was like a split-second clip that nobody can identify of a woman in a cave, but the whole commercial's kind of weird. It's got footage of stuff not in games, so could be nothing, but it could be almost nothing. So you know how a few months ago I told you I was in a game called Class of 09?
This backpack holds priceless reading materials.
Oh yeah? Like what? The Bernstein Bears make eye contact?
Well, the new game, Class of 09 The Re-Up, just put out a teaser, and hey, that's us! We're helping on this one. The game will be out later this year. It'll be bigger and better than the first. It's not a sequel, so you don't need to play the first one to play it, but it's also not the same game. Think of it more like another episode of a sitcom, where anime girls snort Vicodin and say bad words.
What are you gonna do when you're 25 and working at Outback Steakhouse? Well, at least we're not in school.
I would never fucking work at Steakback Outhouse.
Halo Infinite isn't dead. A normal thing you have to clarify if your game is going good. But why are they saying it? Well, Microsoft recently laid off a bunch of employees, including a lot of them from 343, which led the public to speculate that Halo Infinite was done for, considering it's been just a shit show, like a full-on Pukaki. As far as my thoughts, I mean, does Pukaki sound like I think it's going good? Forge was supposed to be the thing that saves this game, and considering I, a huge Halo fan with a gaming news show, didn't even care enough to check it out, I don't think it's happening. Maybe when they add a fucking Battle Royale mode, that'll do it. Somehow, I don't think so. If you hate NFTs, it will probably thrill you to know that the Monkey NFT guys are currently playing a pay-to-win game with like 4 different buy-ins about digging through the sewer for shit.
It all started when Jimmy took a shit so atomic.
In true crypto fashion, the leaderboards are confusing as fuck, the prize is unclear, and the promises are as vague as they are many. But I bet you're jealous of the free browser game tier experience you're missing out on, aren't you? You poor! I bet you can't even afford this NFT waifu gaming computer based on an NFT anime that looks like this!
Thanks for helping us. I was happy to do it.
Marvel's Avengers is shutting down. The game's getting one final update in March that'll basically dissolve all the microtransaction stuff and make all the cosmetics available for free. So in a weird way, it's actually gonna get better, but on September 30th, all official support for the game will be suspended, and you'll still be able to play it, but you won't be able to buy it digitally anymore. This is fucking great news for the future of gaming. Genuinely, I mean that. If a AAA microtransaction service game grindfest based on the Avengers, the most popular film franchise of all time now, can still manage to crash and burn, bitch, anything can. They probably thought this was the safest bet in the world. By all counts, it shouldn't have even mattered if the game sucked whole. It should have been a massive success just on name recognition alone. That probably scares the fuck out of the rest of the industry. These service games have to make a shit ton of money because they're goddamn expensive to maintain. An Avengers game not being able to keep the machine churning is a clear financial signal that this format isn't the surefire money printer it used to be, and is instead a gigantic risk. I want this to go away so bad. Anyways, unrelated, a screenshot of the Screamicide Squad game leaked, and it has a battle pass and multiple currencies. Woo! Now, Warner Brothers is denying it, and they're also going around copyright claiming that image wherever it's posted, so maybe they're gonna try to shove it under the bed and claim it never happened. More likely, they just don't want people talking about it. They did kind of the same thing when the Multiverses roster leaked. Activision tried to shut it down super hard when it came out early that they were gonna be dropping loot boxes on Normandy Beach. You remember that? You had like a social credit score and you got rewarded for watching other people unbox their shit. It was fucking wild. 2023 is the year of Payday 3, proclaims the developers of Payday 3 boldly as they show absolutely nothing from their game. HTC revealed their new Vive XR Elite headset. It looks to be a competitor product to the Zuckerhelm Pro, sitting at the exact same price of $1,100 bucks. It's a standalone unit that can do virtual and mixed reality. I guess they've stopped calling it augmented reality, which, fair enough. Augmented reality is like what I'd call an acid trip or a good book. When I read, I'm simply in another world, a world of reading. Anyway, unlike Facebook's thing, the demo of the Vive focused more on the gaming aspect than whatever this is. Seems like the ideal use case here is to wirelessly connect to your computer and play real-ass VR games, but I'd still say if you're a gamer true and blue, I'd wait a little bit, see if Valve announces a new index or something before jumping on this. It comes out next month. This month? I guess. It depends on when you're watching this. Do you want to play video games but you don't have hands or something? Serious question, by the way. I know I'm a bad person. You probably thought this was a setup for a joke, but no, it's actually something that's kind of cool. Sony unveiled this steel drum-looking PlayStation controller called Project Leonardo for gamers with disabilities and live streamers who want to do gimmick runs on Elden Ring. Have you seen that chick that plays 2 Elden Rings at once on a DDR dance pad? What the fuck, dude? I'm getting distracted. Point is, without a price or release date yet, it's probably still a little while off. But this is potentially really big for the demographic it actually applies to. And me, who was told by a street psychic that I would be maimed one day, and now I get to look forward to that. AMD teamed up with Lies of P, which is that Dark Souls Pinocchio game that we all just have to accept as a thing at this point. Pinocchio is no longer funny, Pinocchio is dark and evil, and Pinocchio being dark and evil is also no longer funny. Pinocchio being dark, evil, and unfunny was shown running at a glorious 8K thanks to the 7900 XTX. Of course, this is after YouTube compression, and unless you have an 8K monitor, you probably can't see it or tell anyway, but I think we're good, because if they lie, their nose will grow. So, speaking of AMD, we kind of didn't talk about their new cards, did we? Now, this is not a tech channel, but I do watch them regularly, and then wonder why I'm watching them. So, the short version is, AMD's new high-end cards perform almost on par with Nvidia's stupidly overpriced ones for like $600 cheaper. Unless you turn on ray tracing or use Blender, then they get dumpstered. Also, I know this makes it sound like they're this great value or something. We're still talking about $1,000 graphics cards here. Nvidia's stuff is just fucking stupid now. When I saw the new trailer for Granblue Fantasy Relink, my first thought was that I could call it Grand Poo Fans of P Restink. But then I saw all the weebs freaking out in the comments section, which I kind of figured was because it was based on some beloved household 9-season anime, but no, it turns out it's like a Japan-only Facebook game or something, so I don't know where all these fans of it came from, though apparently this game has been in development hell for a while. Originally it was going to be made by Platinum, but that fell through, so they've been waiting a long time for this. To me it looks like a fairly straightforward action JRPG, but our resident weeb Phil seems to think it'll be good, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Come.
E3 is happening this year, but Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo won't be there. For now, this is just a heavily substantiated rumor, and that's not to say they won't still do a live stream or something around that time. But if this is true, the Jeff Keighley power grab will be complete, and he will rise to the title of Mr. Video Games. Either way, he will continue to be a formidable foe for ages to come, and here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge.
Come.
Back at the end of every month to hear new shit that you should never repeat to anybody. I am a bad role model, an evil character.